Uh, I have just very simple questions. So far, how many avatar did you create? And in the future, how many avatars do you need?
Uh, that is very interesting. But I used to use myself uh, when I make an artwork. I made lots of self-portraits when I was young, but recent since I started to make my digital avatars, I think I made 3 avatars. So uh, one is the scanned image of myself, and the other one is actually they are the same avatar, but their quality is super different. So one is hyper realistic, like a photography. I mean, I think you remember the first image of this presentation. So it's from the avatar with high quality. And the last one is the lowest quality of my avatar. So in the future, um, yeah, I think uh, I don't know how many avatars I will make, but I think I still need to make myself to uh, I use my avatar to objectify by myself. I wanted to look at avatar, not myself. I look at it like the other.
It's more like a technical question. I was wondering if you represented. No, first of all, I wanted to start that I haven't been to your exhibition. I have been to to exhibition with, and it impressed me a lot. It happened last year, and I didn't know that it can make such a big um, um, affect on a person because you're actually living it. I was scared. I felt the whole all emotions you can feel in like 7 minutes that I your losses. So just to say that I'm very, but it's new for me. So there are a lot of questions that I still have. Um, I this question: how to VR? Why VR? Why not drawing? For example, people express themselves with the aquarelle, for example, like watercolors. Why VR? And the other question is: do you represent only the that you've seen yourself, or you take your inspiration from other sources as well? For example, I've seen some trees that are hard to find here. So did you travel to see them, or you just use other sources? What, should I turn it off?
I will answer the second one. Uh, uh, the ambassador in New Zealand of New Zealand embassy, he said a similar thing because he said it's like New Zealand because I use lots of plants from New Zealand. But for me, I use the plants because it's exotic. Because the British botanist Joseph Banks, he collected more than 10,000, 1,000 plants from New Zealand and Australia. To maybe there are many reasons, but one of the reasons is he put the plants to Kew Garden in London. So they collected, it's like they collected the plants and animals and so many things. It's related to colonialism. So for some people, that kind of plants are very normal, but for us, maybe it's very exotic. So I wanted to use that kind of plant which I'm not that used to. Here. because one of my foreign researchers found that we can see horror movie at the cinema, and we can see the same movie at the VR. But you feel more scary when you use VR because you cannot escape from the horror environment. So I wanted to use that kind of feeling. You are fully inside my artwork, so you can concentrate. But if you look at this kind of painting in the gallery, you cannot fully concentrate it if you are not interested. So I wanted to force people to into my artwork. No. But some people actually scream when they watch. Yeah.
My question is, I'm really interested in I don't know if I fully understood it, but when you said that Lucy opened the door and then there was no gravity, and so that's an installation that you walked through, right? And so that was a moment of like, was it a surprise to you because you were saying that it was random what she would? I understand that correctly? Sorry. That's
It is not really innovation, right? Because that's it's a game. It's like a video game. So and you can look. Sorry, you can. You're not into the installation. You're watching her walking randomly. You don't know where she will end into where.
okay.
And even you cannot control it, right?
And so was it a surprise to you when she opened the door and walked out? Was that?
It was very funny because I told you I used 10 virtual camera in this work, and so I put 3 cameras in Lucy's body. So at first, when she opened the door, Lucy just disappeared. So I thought, oh, what's going on? No idea at all. And then I found that the camera suddenly came out and Lucy turning around in the black space.
To me, that's incredible that your art improvised. Well, I don't know. There's just something incredible about that.
Yeah, I'm not possible to, but some people say, one of my students told me,
Recording in progress.
after she work, she said, oh, I watched it from the start to the end. So I told her, there's no start and ending. But some people imagine, because, yes. It's secret, but because of this kind of thing can happen. So sometime later it started again from the start. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you. We go to Shanghai. Good morning, Magali. How are you? You're in.
Good morning. Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. I am still on the edges about AI, but what I'm curious about is how has living, I have 2 questions. How has living in those apartments affected your creativity? And what are the advantages for you of creating those avatars?
Can you repeat again? Sorry, the question.
Sure, no problem. The first question, how has living in those apartments with all the numbers, when your identity was just a number, how has living in those apartments affected your creativity? Did it help? Did it stifle? What did you have to do? How did it impact your ability to express your creativity? The second question is, what are the advantages of creating those avatars as an artist for you?
I think this kind of apartment is made me normal person. I heard one architect said, if you want to let his creative person, you have to high ceiling more than 3 meters, but apartment is normally lower than 3 meters. So it affects, I think, I believe it affects creativity, but maybe that's why my house has no color and no texture and no feeling. So maybe before I met Caitlin Smith, I thought I'm adventurous person. It's like I'm adventurous inside my house. So, but since I realized it, I wanted to use these kinds of feeling to make my artwork. And like, around 15 years ago, I used to use my image to make my artwork. I use photograph. So I use my photograph to cover very big gallery space. So my face was huge, and at that time people were judging about my looking and my body or something like that. So I was very shocked. So after that, I didn't really use myself to make my artwork. But when I made my digital avatar, I'm quite free from my real body. And even if people judge about my avatar, it's not really me. It looks like me, but I don't think it's not like me. So there's my work called Sleeping Monument. So I was lying down, and people can touch and they can move my step. But some people said, oh, I cannot touch your body. It's not right. So I said, oh, I don't think it's me. It's just digital image. So it was kind of, playful when I make artwork.
I made you turn it around. Quite a lot. Yeah, you could. Sorry, just one second. We first go to, I'm not sure I'm reading the name right. Ida Gao. Ida Gao, if you can unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, hi.
Yeah. Hi. Thank you for your presentation. And I knew that there were like a lot of artists that were quite against the use of AI tools in the process of art making, but like you did use it in the process of creating your artworks. So I quite wonder what's your attitude towards like these authority problems. Somebody think it's an infringement of the artist authorities, but like you still use it. Like, do you think it is an infringement, or you think it's a like reasonable use of modern technologies?
Use of AI, because there has been a lot of talking going on.
At first, I used AI because I didn't want to make my own opinion, because AI had lots of data, so it's kind of multiple point of view, or when I made my Garden of Vision VR, I used the diary of Joseph Banks, the British botanist in 18th century, and I read his diary, and there is some express something which is not allowed to the contemporary culture. Like he found the Indians when he arrived in Australia, and they are blacker than black people, and
So he used expressions that are not supposed to be
allowed-
used today. Yeah.
Yes. And then I used AI to continue his diary. And AI started to write very fishy expression. And it was very interesting. So I thought maybe AI can solve lots of problems today. And I was totally wrong because I forgot the AI based on the data, which is very political.
Mhm.
So
It was basically correcting itself because based on all the data that were politically correct. This is what it means.
in our history there is lots of for example, AI can find criminal using CCTV, and it was a real situation in America. AI found a black man as a thief at the store, and he was on the trial, and finally he was not guilty, but AI is not able to recognize their face because of lack of information. So at first, when I make my avatar using a 3D program, the data is based on lots of many white people and black people. So there is no Asian. So I wasn't able to make myself. So I had to use my previous data. I scanned using camera. So, and about copyrights, these days, people copy everything. So there is no original data. So there are lots of data on the internet is already there it's very hard to find original source. So, but I'm always thinking about the copyright and yeah.
Thank you. We come back to the living room to Liliana, and then we will go back to you because I see many questions in the virtual living room. So one more from here.
Thank you for your such an interesting story. I have two questions. The first one is that I know some virtual reality artist exhibitions that try to interact with the public. So the question is that, have you done that, or if not, are you thinking on the future on doing that? And the second, that I think that the process of creating for you must be really challenging because I see a lot of technical equipment. So the question is that how do you do that? Do you have like a technical trio behind you, or how do you manage to do that? Thank you.
I will answer the second question first. It is very hard to make art alone when I use digital media because actually I made 2 VR work since last year. At that time, I wanted to use AI during the play, but it was not possible. But this summer, I made another VR, and I could use AI inside my VR. So AI really speaks in my work. So what? Yeah. Yeah. It's very difficult to follow the new techniques, but I'm I have a good programmer and I have AI researchers. So we work all together. So until now, every day I study about new media. So I don't really want to say I want to use new media, but of course, if I know the new technologies, I can, you know, I can use it very in creative ways. So it's very useful for me. Yeah. But I don't think technology is very important to make artwork.
You say they can be a source of inspiration in a way, but on the other way, that's not the whole point, right?
Yes.
Now we have.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So the first one is that have you done an interactive work, the ones like the public can give a response?
Not really, but oh yes, I had an online exhibition, so it's not in the public place, but online people can go inside my homepage website and they can play with my avatar. So thank you.
Okay. Before going back to the living room in Zoom, when I experienced your last VR, in a way it was interactive because I had to choose the answers.
Yes.
So and that changed a bit what was going on in the installation.
I didn't show that VR today, but it was about the adventure of Caitlin Smith. Lucy pretends she is Caitlin Smith. So Lucy is telling people about her amazing adventure. And at some point, Lucy became an AI. So I trained AI you have to become a British woman explorer. So you have to pretend you are Lucy. So you speak to people and you have to get some information of them and you have to create some image inside the VR. So it's very interactive.
That's great.
VR, yes.
And it was awesome. Sorry. Angel Yang, 2 questions from you. Hi. Yes, you can
Hi.
unmute yourself. Hello.
Hi. Okay, so thank you for your presentation. I really love your artwork, so big thanks to that. And I have 2 questions for you. It's that, first of all, what does these avatars represent for you? Because in your presentation, you said that these avatars are meant for you to freely define your identity. But at the same time, you have mentioned that you have a sense of otherness from these avatars because you have described them as mere digital images. So are you representing who you want to be, or just like who you think you are, or just mere creativity? And at the same time, because I'm new to this kind of digital media, so how do you actually train these AIs to create these 3D plants? Because I'm really curious about that. Thank you.
Thank you. Because Lucy looked like me. And, I told you I live in an apartment space, a very stereotype. So I'm very normal person and I'm not special. So using Lucy, I wanted to be a special person. So I became heroine in my artwork. And but I know Lucy is not me. So even if Lucy pretends she's Caitlin Smith, but I never experienced that kind of adventure in my life. So I quite like this kinds of I can be any kind of people in my artwork. But so I'm looking at myself. I told you earlier, I'm looking at myself with multiple perspectives. So that's why I made this kind of avatar. And using AI is, I'm not AI expert, but my friends told me we have to teach them very specific, you know, like in my VR, there is narration from some, so it sounds like, if you read novel, there is a heroine and some people, but there is another voice from
Narrator.
yes, narrator. So I made the narrator in my work, and I trained the AI. You look like maybe Lucy, but you pretend to Caitlin Smith. But Lucy is based on artist Hyunseon Kang. So it's very complicated. So, but I trained continuously. So, and then I put the prompt like, you speak, you have to describe this whole situation in my work using Lucy's voice, and the narration is you write the narration like I forgot the name. I put the name of the writer actually.
Okay.
You have to pretend you are
that writer.
Yeah, that writer.
To follow up on your question, I don't want to talk for you. And so how do you train? Because you say it to you, it's probably very normal to say, I train AI, but how does it work?
It's very simple. Because, everybody maybe have experienced about ChatGPT. So if you I use ChatGPT 4 and okay. If you if you started to talk ChatGPT, you have to order something. You can order something. You are Raffaello and you are Italian and you speak Italian, and you have to write a poem. And like you have to make a song like bands with some specific band, and you can change and you can train more, and the AI became more smarter. Yeah.
So you give instructions.
Yes,
Prompts are
yes,
instructions that you
yes.
give to AI, and okay, thank you. Hannah, can you unmute yourself, please, and ask your question?
Yeah, okay, I can.
Hi.
Hi. So, like, first of all, thank you so much for your presentation. I really like your artwork. I have like two short questions for you. I'm also like a high school art student, so I'm really interested into your art creation process. So, do you think like there's a constant inspirations in your artistic creations? Because I've seen like explorations on like identities, digital humanities, like real life conceptual things. There's like nature inside. Do you feel like there's a constant inspiration of your creation?
Constant, you mean, I'm looking for the word also in English, consistent or frequent. Is that what you mean?
Yes, pretty much likely.
Yeah, do you have something that is always there inspiring you? A common, how can I say, a common inspiration to all your work, or you don't?
In my whole artwork.
Yes. Into your practice.
I think every artist first of all, they wanted to know who am I. Maybe that is the starting point.
So you yourself are your starting point.
Yes, because I get used to be watched by other people, but so I wanted to make my own point of view in my artwork. I tried to make my own point of view.
And Anna, you had one more question that I see on the screen, but if you want, yeah, please.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. So I kind of want to know like what's your creation process from like that starting point, the theme you're interested in, and going to like complete artwork, complete installations. So does it like take you a long time to complete your work, or is it something that you have a long process of like brainstorming?
Yeah, it's making artwork doesn't need very long time, I think, but I have to think very long time. Yeah, and then make artwork like maybe within 1 week I can make, but I have to think very long time to, I have to agree with myself.
Thank you. And thank you, Anna. We have 2 more questions from the Zoom living room. Anyone here? Just raise your hand. Sunny, I didn't write. Sunny, can you please unmute yourself and ask your questions? Hi.
Okay, hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so thank you so much for sharing those amazing artworks. And first, I have to say that as an Asian kid, I kind of resonate so much with the scenarios you depicted in the artworks. And so, since so many of them point to the same discussion of virtual and reality, so I'm kind of curious about what is your opinion about the boundary between the real world and the digitally created world. And thank you so much.
Thank you. That's a tough question.
I cannot say digital environment is not real, because if you really, concentrate, maybe video game, it can be your reality. So I cannot say it's fake word, but it's different from physical world. So what should I say?
I don't know. We go back. It was, yeah, so boundary between real world and digitally created world. Could be that there are none.
It's already connected, because you cannot live without smartphone and laptop. So as I told you earlier, I'm in the point of post-Anthropocene. They speak, we have to go back to the nature, but I don't agree with that, because for me, maybe technology can solve lots of problems in the future. So, and digital virtual is, I think, part of
our life today.
Real life today.
I would love to go back to a less technological world. No, it's not true. No, but it's true. We can't. We cannot. One more question, and I will read this because Mattia is asking me to read it. He says, he noticed that your artistic expression is strongly anchored in conceptual thinking. I'm eager to learn more about your perspective on the dynamic relationship between conceptual and aesthetic elements in your work. Wow. He said, I apologize. No, that was for me. Okay, so back to the question. Your perspective on the dynamic relationship between conceptual and aesthetic elements. Do you care? Or, because that's also, they are very aesthetic. if I may, from a viewer point of view. They are beautiful.
Thanks.
No, it's true, because when it comes to, sometimes video or animation, it's true that very often the concept can take over the aesthetical part. In your case, personal viewer opinion, it doesn't happen. But what about your perspective on that?
I think maybe in aesthetic point of view, I was a painter a long time ago, so I wanted to create something what I want to see. But I always want to know the reason why I have to make this. Like, I asked you why. I asked to Caitlin Smith, why did you go to this travel? So I always need reason to make artwork and reason to do something. So I think both are very important.
Yeah. And I think you can tell. Yeah. No, it's true. Thank you. Any other? Otherwise the time has come. And we can say class dismissed. Thank you very much.